All right, if you're a startup founder, you know the feeling. That AWS bill lands and it's a huge headache. So today, we're going to walk through a really practical guide on how to slash those costs. This is all about helping you focus on building your business, not just, paying for servers.
So let's just ask the question that probably keeps you up at night. You see that monthly AWS invoice, and it honestly feels like you're just lighting your precious runway on fire, right? But what if I told you a huge chunk of that spending is completely avoidable?
And that, right there, is the heart of the problem. In that mad dash to build and scale, it is so common to provision way too many servers and resources, just in case you get a huge traffic spike. The thing is, most of the time, they're just sitting there, completely idle. But guess what? You're still paying for them, 24/7. This is the silent killer of startup budgets.
But there is a much, much smarter way to do this. It's called the serverless solution. Now, don't let the name fool you. It's not about having no servers at all. It's about not having to manage them. And, this is the important part, not paying for them when they're not doing anything. Let's dig into how that actually works.
So, what is serverless really? To put it simply, it's an architecture where your cloud provider, in this case AWS, handles all the infrastructure for you. Your app gets broken down into these little functions that only run when they're actually needed. The crucial point here is, if nobody is using your app at 3 a.m., you're not paying for compute power. And that's really the magic of it.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? Well, AWS gives you this powerful set of tools that are designed for exactly this. So let's open up the toolkit and see which services are about to become your startup's new best friends for saving a ton of money.
First up, the absolute foundation of any serverless strategy on AWS, Lambda. Think of it like this. Instead of hiring a full-time employee that you have to pay even when there's no work to do, you're hiring a freelancer. You only pay them for the specific hours they're actively working. Lambda is basically a freelancer for your code.
And this is where the benefits really start to stack up. First, you only pay for what you use. That's a direct, immediate cost saving. Second, it scales automatically, so you're not paying for servers to sit around waiting for a traffic spike that might never come. But honestly, maybe the biggest win is for your team. Your engineers can stop being, server janitors and actually start being innovators, building the features that are going to grow your business.
Okay, so you've got these little Lambda functions ready to go, but how do you actually trigger them from your website or your mobile app in a way that's secure and efficient? Well, that's where Amazon API Gateway comes in. It's basically the front door for all your application's logic. API Gateway is just so powerful because it takes care of a ton of really complex work for you. We're talking about managing traffic, controlling who has access, even handling different versions of your APIs. It offloads a huge amount of work and boosts performance, letting all the separate little parts of your application, your microservices, talk to each other smoothly and securely.
Now, you might be thinking, well, what if my app is built using containers? Don't worry, you are not left out of the serverless party. AWS has a great solution for this, called Fargate, and it works with their Elastic Container Service, or ECS. It brings that exact same pay-for-what-you-use thinking to the world of containers.
And I mean, the difference here is just night and day. The old way meant you had to guess how many servers you needed, pay for them 24/7, and then manage them all the time. The Fargate way is so much simpler. You just tell it what your container needs, AWS handles everything else, and you only pay when that container is actually running. The cost of idle servers, it just disappears.
A truly cost-effective architecture isn't just about how you compute things. It's also about being fast and being secure. By handling requests intelligently at the edge of the network, which is just a fancy way of saying closer to your users, you can cut down the load and the cost of your core services.
And for this, we have a really powerful duo. First, there's CloudFront, which is a global content delivery network. It basically caches your content all over the world, which makes your app feel lightning fast for users no matter where they are. At the same time, you have the AWS Web Application Firewall, or WAF. Think of it like a security guard, inspecting traffic and blocking bad actors before they can even get close to your app. It's a real one-two punch for performance and protection.
Okay, so we've talked about the strategy, we've gone through the toolkit, but what does this actually mean for your startup's bank account? Let's get to the payoff. Let's see what all of this really adds up to.
Look, this isn't just theory. Moving to a serverless architecture delivers real, tangible, proven savings that can completely change a startup's trajectory. The results are in, and they are impressive.
And here it is, 40%.
That is the average cost reduction that startups see when they properly implement these serverless principles. Just take a second and think about that. What would a 40% reduction in your AWS bill mean for your company? That's not a small tweak, that's a total game changer.
And this brings us right back to where we started. This is not just about saving a few bucks. It's about survival and it's about growth. It's about extending your runway, giving you more time to find that perfect product market fit, and freeing up capital to invest where it really matters, like hiring great people, marketing, and just building a better product.
So I'll just leave you with this question. That 40%, it's not just a number on a spreadsheet. It represents new features you could build. It could be a new engineer you could hire. Or it could be several more months of runway you need to really make your vision a reality. Going serverless, it's not just a technical choice, it's a huge strategic advantage for your business. So what are you going to do with it?